Stop babying your iron. For 100 years, experts have been feeding you a line of bull that's thicker than the sludge at the bottom of your tractor radiator. Today, we're stripping away the lies. A full century full of bad advice that not even rust could ruin. We're going back to 1926 to see when everything went right and when everything went off the rails. Stick around because the 2010's biggest secret ended up being the worst of them all. And it's time to get real. People treat these pans like they're fine china or fairy dust. It's a hunk of metal forged in a furnace, for goodness sake. But over the last 100 years, we went from just using this thing to somebody saying, buy my $50 beeswax oil like some secret monk made. It's ridiculous, and it stops today. You see, back then, they didn't season pans. They just used them. Great grandma didn't have a YouTube channel. She had 12 kids on a farm. And if the pan was sticky, she just hit it with a rock. So what's the lie, you ask? You can never use soap. The reality is they use lye soap that could melt off the skin on your fingers. But modern Dawn dish soap is basically like a bubble bath for your skillet. If your seasoning falls off because of a little soap, it wasn't seasoning, my friend. It was burnt bacon grease pretending to be a finish. So now we get into the space age. Fun times, out of this world. This is when non-stick Teflon pans came out and they started telling us this cast iron is for cavemen. And suddenly, everyone wanted a pan coated in a chemical that sounds like a NASA experiment. So cast iron got tossed into the barn and subject to cobwebs and dust. So here's the lie. Cast iron's too heavy and it's too much work. But here's the reality. They traded a pan that could last 200 years for a pan that's gonna peel in 6 months. And this era is the one that created the cast iron myth that it's difficult. It's not difficult, it's honest. Now for the third era, the 2010s. It's what you've been waiting for. This was the peak of overcomplication. Scientific bloggers swore the flaxseed oil was the secret seasoning. And people would buy this stuff for around $15 a bottle and then watch as their seasoning peeled off like a bad sunburn. And you don't need a lab coat to fry an egg. So here's the lie. Flaxseed is the most scientific, hardest seasoning oil there is. The reality is it's brittle. I mean, it looks good for a shiny picture, a post on the internet or maybe Instagram, but then as soon as you heat it up, it flakes off into your eggs. So now, look at these Legos. These fancy unsaturated oils that the scientists love is like trying to build a wall with round blocks. They don't lock together, but these saturated fats, like my friend Crisco right here, they stack tight. They're stable. They don't go rancid in this East Texas heat. This is the fast, simple method that's been around since before your granddad was. So let's bring it home. The results don't lie. 100 years of progress gave us expensive oils and bad advice. And if you want a pan that lasts another century, stop listening to somebody with a 10-step seasoning process and just start listening to the iron and just warm her up. Remember, medium heat is the new high heat. And use a stable fat, maybe even something like Crisco. And don't overthink it. And if you're tired of being lied to, hit that subscribe button. We challenge the experts and we keep it honest. And if you've got a question about cast iron that maybe is one that you found out in the woods or someone gave you, drop it in the comments below. And if I don't have an answer for you, I can find an expert that can. And as always, thank you and keep seasoning.